Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello. My name is Muhammad Aidil Hakim Ahmad. My supervisor is Dr. Robiah binti Yusuf and my elevated is Dr. Nurul Azma binti Zakaria. I would like to present about my Psm I that I have been working on this semester, and my title for this Psm is Analysis of Phishing URL using Machine Learning Technique. In Chapter 1, I will present about introduction, research problem, research question, research objective, scope, and research contribution. In these slides, I will explain about the introduction in Chapter 1. Phishing is to trick victims using fake website to collect the sensitive information. Type of web attacks is financial damage, identity theft, loss of private information, and ethical. The sensitive information that phishing collects such as account identifiers, usernames, passwords, and ethical. As a result, the internet user may be vulnerable to various types of web attacks. The thief expect user to misinterpret them as legitimate, so the user information and resources can be stolen without warning. And then nowadays, machine learning is introduced and popular to use among researchers consist of clustering, classification, and regression. So this is the research problem of this project. The problem is less in understanding about phishing URL and the different techniques to implement in machine learning tools. And then the research question about this project is what is the classification technique in machine learning, how to apply classification technique using machine learning tools, and how to make the comparison when the result is being achieved. And then the research objective for this project is to study the phishing URL and classification technique to use in this project. And the second objective is to apply different classification technique using machine learning tools to getting the result. And lastly, to make the comparison between the different classification technique after getting the result. So the scope of this project uses the different classification technique in machine learning and comparison to identify the best technique, and then uses the Weka machine learning tools to classification the data to get the best result. So the research contribution for this project is to understanding the classification technique of phishing URL in machine learning and purpose using the different classification technique to getting the result, and then identifying the best classification techniques for phishing URL dataset after making the comparison. So in this slide, I will present about the chapter 2 which is literature review that have been done in this project. So as you can see, this is the framework for analysis of phishing URL using machine learning technique. The framework is divided into 4, which is phishing, machine learning, techniques, and analysis. So in this slide, I will explain about the phishing. Definition of phishing. Phishing is a technique of social engineering in which a malicious attacker impersonates a trusted third party. Phishing, also known as the fraudulent effort to acquire confidential information, for example, username, password, and credit card data by disguising in an online message as a trusted person. And the category of phishing is spear phishing, that defined as a preliminary stage of an advanced persistent threat, which is EPT attack to create a point of entry data of the organization. And then search engine phishing, a fairly new form of phishing attack which do not bother fraudster to send a targeted email, and then priming is execute sophisticated attack, including alteration of the base server, DNS, cache positioning, and so on. And then email phishing is used to trick a user to convey a sense of urgency, such as notifying the victim that have not logged in many times in email. And then smishing is like SMS that direct via a hyperlink or phone number to a website so that can check the information. And then phishing is involving phone call to which the perpetrator tries to manipulate the victim to provide the personal information. And then the violin is perpetrator attempting to mimic senior staff to get the information about the office. And then watering holes phishing is the intruder waits for the target to reopen the malicious location. And then type of attack phishing is URL phishing is special user creating an identical website whereas target to log in by submitting personal information. And then subdomain attack is scammer exploit the lack of awareness of the difference between the domain and subdomain. And then pop-up message is cybercriminal make pop-up notification in central legitimate website to appear when people visit them. And then mass target is where someone send an email that pretending to be someone else that and tries to trick the reception in doing something. And then website spoofing is special post a website by copying a legal website architecture, material, and user interface. And then scripting is hacker infiltrate the script of a legitimate website that frequently use and manipulate the website to be a phishing website. And then in the middle is malicious actor intersect online interaction between two parties. And then lastly, malware injection is injecting malware to the device to or network through email. And then in this slide, I will explain about the machine learning. The type of learning in machine learning have supervised and unsupervised. Supervised is acting as the teacher, and their role is to train a model of machine. Supervised include two categories of algorithm, which is regression and classification algorithm. Supervised is used to make prediction using a known dataset that is recognized as the training dataset, while unsupervised is to get a machine to learn how to do something that does know how to do. Unsupervised is the purpose is not to create a classification but to make decisions that optimize rewards. And the unsupervised also is not optimize the utility function. So in this slide, I will explain about the machine learning tools that I have been researched. The Weka machine learning tools is a collection of algorithms for machine learning for data mining tasks. The Weka also contains classification, regression, clustering, and ethical. And then the TensorFlow is an open source platform that is useful for both large scale and numerical machine learning. And TensorFlow also is a collection of tools, libraries, and resources. And then the Sklearning is an open source machine learning program. Sklearning is help with regression, clustering, and classification, and ethical. Skill learning also help to test and train the model. The next tools is Shotgun. Shotgun is an open source free machine learning libraries. Shotgun is offer algorithm and data structure for machine learning problems. And then the last tools is the Accord.net. And Accord.net is a machine learning framework that combine with the image and audio processing libraries written in CHD. The Accord.net is consent application, pattern recognition, and ethical. So in this slide, I will explain about the machine learning technique that I have been researched. So the first technique is random forest. Random forest is assemble learning method for classification and recognition. Naive Bayes is simple probabilistic, and SVM is learning method for statistical pattern recognition. The next technique is decision tree is easy to interpret and express as a set of rules. And next technique is neural network is a collection of algorithms that aim to identify underlying relationship in dataset. And last technique is logistic regression is used to categorize data and illustrate the relationship between one dependent binary variable and one or more independent variables. And then in this slide, I will explain about the analysis of metric that I have been researched. For FPR is false positive rate. It is the proportion of negative instances of classified incorrectly. And then the TPR is true positive rate. It is the proportion of positive instances of or classified correctly. F measure is a weighted harmonic means of precision and recall, and accuracy provide general information about how many samples are misclassified, and precision is number of true positive divided by the total number of elements labeled as belonging to the positive class. And last is recall. The recall is a ratio of correctly predicted positive observation to our observation in actual class. So